Hey, welcome back to the channel, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you know there is a new contender that showed up to the game, and that is my Onewheel XR, newly acquired. This video is all about my first 3 weeks of owning my XR, the little challenges I go through, and pretty much just my experience. I'm not an expert. I barely have had this thing, but I show you how I took it on a trip when I went to Florida to see the jet surf competition, some of the footwear that I started off with in the first couple days, and then what I upgraded to that I think better suits. Like I said, this is all just my opinion, so if you're interested in a first time Onewheel owner's experience, that's what this video is going to be about. Taking on a little night crawling with Eduardo, and then it led to purchases of other things. ThrillMouseMoto. So at this point of my video universe timeline, I am still without my Ryker because it is in the shop for the yaw sensor replacement. So I'm looking at other stuff to ride. I'm going on the ThrillMouse Nation tour, and I'd like to have something to cruise around on for the driving trips. And this is just me just showing off the Onewheel XR for the first time on video, and then a lot of the damage that I just did like this day. So this is the third day that I rode it. And I did all of this within those 3 days, especially that front pad. I just shot it out into some boulders. I was like, yo, I can't go through that, because I was trying to do a lot of stuff, and I actually still am, that I'm probably not supposed to be ready for, and then learning from those mistakes for sure. But everything you see that's pink is like aftermarket that was already on there. That little piece there was curled up, and I snapped it off because it was catching on things, getting grass stuck in it or whatever. But you can see all those pink rails are just for protection. That pink fender is for protection. I've actually burned the inside of my ankle on the tire just from flipping it over, not knowing how to really get off of it in the beginning. So I could see how the fender would be beneficial on top for sure. I later end up finding out that back grip pad on my left leg there is actually an upgrade too. So lots of cool upgrades from the start. These things run pretty high already to begin with, especially with the extras. And I was able to get this one for $1,550 with 11 miles on it. So the rails, that back upgraded pad that kind of does a curve, it's supposed to help with back foot fatigue, and that fender, I think that was everything extra that I discovered. It has a stock wheel. It didn't have a plug for the charger. I ended up adding that to it. And there's another seal type plug that goes for the power switch, just to protect it from water and I guess of course debris and stuff. And the charging port is not good either. As far as filming this is like my first time, of course, filming it because you haven't seen it before. So this is my first video, so I actually do a pretty decent job showing it off. At least it doesn't show how cool I am riding it, but you do get to see the board in action if that's what you're here for and interested in. So background, I used to skate in high school, all through it. Ryan and I that you see in the other videos, we'd always be, thrashing and stuff. Big break from that, obviously, since I'm a lot older. But I've been doing the backfire electric skateboard. I have a few videos of that, and that's me realizing I do not have the feet that I used to have when I skateboarded, street skating. I'm just like all cramped up like crazy. Like if you remember skating and then being off the deck for like a whole year or so and trying to get back on it, or just for like a couple months because you're sick or whatever, or hurt, and then you get on it and you start to have to break back in. And then I ended up taking a spill just right after that. This is all just one trip of me when I went to my sister's house and I was going back to my place. I tried to jump on it real quick and take off because I was hauling and I was getting real comfortable with it. And then I was waiting for like a car to go by, and I was like, oh, I can beat this car. And I hurry up and jump on it, and then it just goes straight down because I'm not really knowing how to balance myself or where to put my weight. And I was thinking I was throwing too much of it forward, and I just dipped down and went hard into that black top. And this is just a couple days later, so I'm back on it. My wrist is kind of jacked. Actually, my leg's kind of jacked too. And I get invited to go to the Jet Surf World Cup. It's a moto surf competition in Florida. So I'm like, yo, let's go out there, and then I'll take everything. I took my backfire board, my Onewheel XR. Actually, I think those are the only two things that I took. Well, my disc golf disc, of course. But I'll have a whole video with these cats. I don't think I'm skipping over something. I was out here for like 2 or 3 days, and it was a blast. There was like 3 or 4 other cats out there on one wheels, so it was pretty cool to be able to take mine. It seems like it kind of goes hand in hand. I wanted to show off my shoes that I started off with. So I had these for my backfire board because of that grip, dog. Look at that on the bottom. Awesome shoes, and I like to combine use with them with my electric dirt bike, or my dirt e-bike, I should say. I Segway X160, and I was really all about that hard toe. You can see how tough that is there, and then how high they went to kind of protect my ankle some, because I put some pretty gnarly cleated pegs on that bike, and you can see that the inner side there is higher, and you can see it where that little mark is from that tire burn. It probably would have protected if I was wearing those, but I'm not about the style of those as much for the one wheel. I kind of want to get back to some low pro type shoes. So I just looked at the same brand that make them the same way and seem to make good quality. So I went on the website and I found these here by Ride Concepts also, and they don't have that extreme hardcore cap and back on it, but they still do have some reinforcement, and you can notice the bottom there is pretty much the same, the grip on it, and it's like some crazy rubber. I don't know, they talk it up pretty good, but man, it feels great. And I call Eduardo up, and he hops on the Segway X160. I hop on the one wheel, and we go night crawling, which is just us riding around trails at night yelling night crawlers. I have no idea what I'm doing. You can hear like all the rocks throwing in the fender. I can't go through that. Oh, I don't even have my light on, dude. Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. I'm not even sure where we're going. We're going night crawling, Eduardo. Night crawling! Loud enough to scare the kids that are smoking back over here in the woods. Night crawlers! Well, if I just go like this. Yeah, dog. Night crawlers! Night crawlers! How fast are you going now? Dang, dude, I feel like I'm going so fast on this thing. But this thing has got you nervous. I feel like I'm zooming, man. Like, I'm like, bro, slow down. You're going 9. The trails are closed. Oh, man. But it's not closed to night crawlers. I think it is. Surfing, dog. That's a deer, dude. Look. I should probably check the power on my thing, too. I got 74. I lost my skateboard legs. Oh, shit. Yeah, carving it up. Night crawlers. So obviously having a blast on the Onewheel XR so far. Like I said, come from skateboarding and come from riding one of the electric boards, the backfire board G2T. I have a video on that. Coming from riding the dirt e-bike, that Segway X160 right there, and I've done a few things to it. I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm trying to figure out how much I'm missing out with the one wheel Pint, which a lot of people go from having the Pint I've seen, and then thinking that I need to upgrade to the XR. Well, I'm kind of just thinking the other way around. Of course, I'm all about the XR, and I think that's the main one I'm going to be riding, but it's like, yo, so what's up with these Pints? And I ended up finding a really good deal. You know, your your algorithm on the marketplace type apps, it's still shoving it down my throat. And this deal came up in my town. So I snatched it up. Upgrades on it also, like the fender, the rails, handle, a stand, things like that. This one only had like 12 miles or 15, something like that on it, and I got it for 600. So couldn't turn it down, and I get to see what it's like. And this is me kind of showing the most I got out of it as a first-time rider compared to the Onewheel XR. And I can just pivot like crazy on this thing and spin it around. This one feels more like a skateboard deck, way more than the XR fact for me. That's me kind of showing it off there. But if you know anything about these or looked into them, the battery life isn't going to be, it's like half the amount as an XR. It's kind of ends up being a drag, not having that surface area for your feet like the XR does. Things like that kind of still, plus with my size, I'm 220 pounds and 5'11" 3/4 without shoes on. So that kind of just shows you my build, and then how I just throw down on the XR. A future video I'll come out with wrapping it up is I got a new tire. So tread, I plan on really mostly doing trail type stuff, and I upgrade my grip also on the front. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to ThrillMouseMoto. I was paid to say this since Barry said he felt kind of weird asking. He also wanted me to say Baja Blast slams and yeah dog, ThrillMouseMoto.